So to take this discussion forward, I'd love to introduce to you Ruqya Khan. She's a SMILE strategist, possibilities coach, and author. She's the founder of Smile-tastic. Okay, she will help unpack the 5 hacks from feeling stuck to feeling unstuck in all walks of life. So with this, I'd like to hand it over to Ruqya. Over to you, Ruqya.
Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you, first of all, to Coaches for You to giving me this opportunity to share my smile. What I'm going to actually do is ask if you'd like to keep your cameras on, because we are in the business of smiling. So I'd love to put a smile to your faces, to the names, if that's okay. And I'd like to tell you that I am known as the smile strategist. So let me know in comments what comes to your mind when someone says they're a smile strategist. Positivity makes others smile. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you, Kriti. Well, someone who could make your day. Yes, thank you. I like that. All right. So I'm called a smile strategist. Make someone smile at any given circumstances. Yes, I'm known to do that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinod. So yes. So I am called a smile strategist because when I did my wellness coach spreading joy, thank you. So when I did my TEDx talk, any happy person, I like this. Thank you guys. Thank you. So yes, a smile strategist is all of that. And when I did my TEDx talk in 2016, I wasn't a trained orator. I wasn't someone who had, done Toastmasters or had kind of perfected the stage. I was someone who always took a chance on life and said, bring it on. So when I was given opportunities, I said yes. When I got the opportunity to be on the TEDx stage, I said yes, because I wanted to put out a message to people and make them understand that it's about themselves. It's about ownership. It's not about pushing the blame on somebody else and saying, my life is like this because of. So tell me, have you ever been in that space where you've either met with people or, let's be honest, you've been that person who's kind of pushed the blame on somebody else and said, "Oh, my life is like this because because of my education, I should have studied something else. It's probably like this because because of my in-laws, because of my children, because of the community I come from." Whatever. Just give me a yes or a thumbs up if you've had such an experience, either your own self or you've come across somebody who's like that. Thank you, Kulchuk. Anybody else who's kind of who resonates? Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Maruk. Blaming others is always convenient. You bet it is. And so I said, how can I put out a message that would resonate with people and also be impactful? So my TEDx talk is called The Art of Possibility. And therein, I devised this formula to move from feeling stuck to unstuck using gratitude and acceptance. For gratitude, I don't really need to share much because, since we're little, we're taught to be grateful. We're taught to say thank you. We teach our children this. We teach them, say sorry to uncle, he helped you out. Be nice to this person, say thank you. We are taught as little ones to be grateful. But what about acceptance? How many of us have learned how to get to that space of acceptance? Acceptance of the good things in life, acceptance of the bad things as well. Has anyone ever showed you how to come to that space of acceptance? Sometimes we have to learn this through trial and error, and sometimes a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness that goes into the process of learning how to come to a space of acceptance. I said acceptance is simple. Acceptance comes when you smile. Ever heard that saying, keep smiling, people will wonder what you're up to? So yes, acceptance comes when you smile. And what is the smile that I speak of? It's a 5-step formula. Anuradha says, what comes first, acceptance or gratitude, or are they the same two sides of the coin? I'm now wondering, Anuradha, have you seen my TEDx talk? Because that is exactly the metaphor I used. Gratitude, acceptance, two sides of the coin. So yes, I think gratitude comes first before acceptance. It's when you can come to a place, thank you. So it's when you can come to a place of gratitude, even for the challenges, because they are also shaping you in some way or form. It's only then can you come to a place of acceptance. And the S in the SMILE strategy is silence the mind. It was an afternoon in the summer of 2000. I found myself standing before this sink full of achievement. My husband and I love to socialize. We love inviting people over. So it was one of those afternoons after a brilliant party, and I was standing behind a sink full of dishes. My little one, my 8-month-old son, was asleep. My daughter, who had just started school, was learning to color within the lines. I asked myself, there must be more to life than diapers and dishes. I was a graduate of sciences. I knew I could do more. And I knew I had two very, very important people watching me. And so I set out to look for what more I can do. And my journey of being into media as a writer, my journey in the world of words began. Between then and now, I've been the editor of 2 different magazines. I've worked in government offices. I've worked with the Knowledge and Human Development Authority, different things as a writer, all without a graduation degree in journalism. Nada. I just use my passion for writing, my passion for language to script through my stories. What are some questions that you ask yourself when you find yourself in a difficult situation? Let's put it in chat. What are some questions that you ask yourself when you find yourself in a tough spot? I've heard so many people speak about, why does this happen to me? Or why does it have to be this way? Or why can't he understand what I'm talking about? What are some things that go on in your mind when you're in that really, really restricted place? Because today we're talking about smiling to move forward. What next? Yes. What am I doing here? Ah, yes. What else? Am I good enough? Will this really matter in 5 years? If not, then don't overthink. I like that. What's the karmic lesson I need to take away from this situation? Thank you, Mehruk. What else? What can I do now? I like that question, Anuradha. Could I have prevented this, Meera? Amazing. So most of the times, yes, there have been forward-moving questions, and there have been questions which are holding us back. What am I doing here? There is God's plan. Yes. So what's the karmic lesson? What can I do now? Will this really matter? What am I doing here? What next? Questions that we ask ourselves. And this is a great bunch of people, because I haven't got any negative questions, which is a bravo to you guys. So yes, we don't want to be in that stuck place, and we don't want to have that chatter in the mind, those self-doubt, those questions, those conversations that are pulling us down. And so I say silence the mind, because a person thinks close to 6 to 9,000 thoughts in a day. And 80% of the time, these thoughts are on loop. They are repeated. And the only way that you can break that loop, break that pattern, is when you kind of create a different thought process, or consciously break that pattern of thinking. So how could we, anyone interested here to know how you can silence the mind? Let me give you one of the tricks from my bag, my toolbox. So anybody interested here in knowing how you could experiment with silencing the mind? A thumbs up or a yes or anything as reactions would do. If I have a few, I shall proceed with that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, George. Thank you, Nilofer. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you, Rajni. So great. Your wish is my command. Let's focus on breath work. One of the ways you can silence your mind is when you're focusing on your breath. So put one of your hands on your chest and the other on your belly, and let me know which one is moving. As in, are you breathing from your chest up, or are you breathing from your belly? You can write in comments, or just first let's observe where you're breathing from. Are you breathing from your chest? Okay, chest. Okay, chest seems more. All right. So for those of you, belly, thank you, Vijay. All right. So how many are breathing chest up? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you're breathing from your chest up. All right, Maruk, Nilofer, Kulsham, Farah. Who else? All right. So I'm assuming the others who haven't, yes, Mira, thank you. All right. So the others who haven't given a thumbs up, are you all breathing from your belly? Give me a thumbs up if you're breathing from your belly now. So I have a count on the yes, Krishna, yes, it can be both. All right. Johnny says belly, Vijay says belly, thank you. George says belly. All right. Prakash says belly, thank you. All right. And then we have some, Ganpati says belly, all right. Who else? All right. So great. Some people breathing chest up, some people breathing belly. Now, for those of you who haven't given me a thumbs up for either of them, just wanted to know, are you okay? Because either of those has to move. If you haven't participated, just wondering, are you okay? Why haven't you given a comment on whether it's chest or belly? Because that's where it happens, right? That's where the magic happens, when you participate and engage in the process. So please be a sport and let's participate, because that's the fun of this whole conversation, and that's why we're here. So now we're going to do the breath work. I want you to close your eyes, and as you close your eyes, I want you to imagine a square that it could be a square park, it could be a square in the sky. Just imagine a square, 4 sides, equal sides. And I'd like for you to walk across the 4 sides of the square. And as you walk across one of the strides, you're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause again. So breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause, breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause. So 4 sides of the square, counts of 4. So let's do this together. So I will close my camera so that you can focus as well. And I'm just going to give you the count. So you're just going to imagine yourself walking along a square and breathe, pause, breathe, pause. That's it. All right, so let's do this. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more counts of this, please. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Last one. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did that feel? How did that feel? Were you able to think of anything while you were doing the breath work? Rhythm, yes. Were you able to think of anything else? Nothing. Thank you. Focus was on the breath. No. Feels like the first time I'm actually breathing. Yes, thank you. Nothing. Not much thoughts. Except obviously I'd asked you to imagine the square. I asked you to walk with it and the count and the pause. So maybe because it's the first time you're doing it, maybe you were doing it more consciously. So peace, all that matters finally is breath. That's the thought that came from me. So beautiful, Vijay. Thank you. Waiting for the pause to end. So you are somebody who's always in a rush, aren't you? Only walking the square. So silence the mind. Bring your attention to your breath. In a panic situation, bring your attention to your breath. Second one, M stands for. Just going to wait. Detoxify. Waiting for the pause to end. Great. So M stands for manage your attention. So how often does it happen that you're in that really crazy situation or you are in a strange place, uneasy, unsure, uncertain of what's going to happen next? And where does your attention dash off to? It's like, it's because it's the function of your subconscious mind to keep yourself safe, to keep you alive. So your subconscious mind, if you are in a really strange situation, there's uncertainty around you, then what it does is it goes out seeking for why you shouldn't do something that you're aiming to do, because it wants to keep you in that comfort zone. So it rushes out, dashes out to go get you all the negative reasons why this is not a good idea. So earlier in the conversation, Kulcham was saying we've got close to 50 registrations. And then we have 30 people in the room today. Why? Because while some people made the registrations, somebody said, their mind said, why should I? I mean, like, we got 1 hour, we can chill. Why should I? I mean, like, nah, maybe not. And you took the decision to be here because you knew that, what could a smile strategy be? What could she be talking about when she says, smile to move forward? So two different people, two different mindsets, two different outcomes, two different presents, and same scenario, to be honest. So manage your attention. Are you thinking negative in a situation? Are you coming from a place of panic? Or are you thinking positive? Are you thinking possibilities? Ashok says, bringing attention to vision, hearing, touch can also quieten your mind. Any thoughts? Yes, I have been doing the PQ reps, so I know what you're talking about, if that's what you're talking about. Yes, quietening your mind, bringing your attention to your senses, bringing your attention to what's going on around you. Just listening to what you can hear farthest away, listening to what you can hear within your breath. That's something you can definitely do. That helps you quieten the mind, that helps you bring your focus to yourself. Manage your attention. I stands for identify your intention. So how many people in the room here are aware of the work of Simon Sinek? Simon Sinek, Start with Why. He talks about starting with why. He's like literally synonymous with the word why. And someday I hope that I would be synonymous with the word smile. Yes, Anuradha. Thank you. Yes, golden circle. Absolutely. So starting with why is very, very important. It is so, so important to know your why. Uh, as a coach, as a speaker, as a writer, I used to I used to put out my quotes on my page. I used to do a lot of stuff. And then came a point in life where life changed. October 2017 was when my children left the nest for university. You know, I thought, brilliant, they're leaving, so I'm going to focus on myself. That was the plan for myself. But then as my son began to leave, it dawned upon me how difficult this is going to be, you know, because my world literally revolved around them and it was hard. It was really hard to let them fly out. And just when I thought that this is hard, God said, I'll give you something else. And I lost my dad. And when Papa was, I mean, when Papa passed on, it was hard for me to kind of bounce back and be the person that I am. And I took some time, I took a few months actually to be by myself. There were times that I wouldn't even I wouldn't even get out of bed until 5 in the evenings. I would struggle. And the struggle was my own. I mean, not many people knew about it. I would be perfectly fine on the outside for the world to see because you got to be in control, right? Yet I struggled. And I remember in April, the next year in April, meeting my children in Australia. And we were on this bus ride when it was just me and my son. And he asked me, so, Ma, what have you been up to? My immediate defense was, I'm your mother. You're not supposed to talk to me like that. Have you ever done that? When you've been given a tough question, have you ever pushed it away using authority? It could be with your children, it could be at work, with friends. Yeah, I did that. He's my son after all. He said, all that is fine, but what about accountability? Tough one. You can't really do much when you've given the children the tools. You've been constantly talking of something, and then you feel like, why did he ask me that question? But I couldn't push it away because he was right. He was talking about accountability, and that's something I had taught him. Those were the values he took from us as a family. Thank you, Vijay. Yes, sometimes with the ones we take for granted. Thank you, Johnny, for the honesty. Kanisha, yeah, sometimes we use our authority because we don't want to be cornered. But there I was cornered. So I decided to be accountable for what I can deliver as his daughter. And I committed to myself that I would start doing videos around my quotes. So you must have guessed I'm a bit of a chatterbox. And I have my own one-liners that I used to post on my Facebook page. So I went to that and I began to make a list of all that I had. And as I made that list, I realized I had 550 quotes of my own. And when I came back to the UAE, I asked my tribe, my circle of genius on my Facebook page, I said, hey guys, I'm so sorry I've been out of the picture, but would you like for me to do videos on around my quotes? And I ran a poll and around 97% said yes. So when you ask a question and when people say yes, you deliver. So on May 1st, 2018, I started doing daily videos, quite literally, to get myself just out of bed and face the world. Today will be day 1019 of that commitment. Why? Because I want to deliver his values as his daughter. I want to be that person who lives from the values he's given me, my papa. I want to leave behind a little bit of a legacy. The smile. Papa never complained. Thank you. Thank you. So, identify your intention. Put it in comments. What drives you? Thank you. What drives you to do what you're doing in life? When you're losing weight, are you losing weight because you want to kind of look good for a particular occasion? Or you want to fit in a particular dress for a party? Are you losing weight for that? Or are you losing weight? Thank you. So, or are you losing weight because you want to be healthy, you want to be full of energy? Are you giving it all to your family because that's how it's expected of you? Or are you doing it from a place of love and gratitude and joy? What is it that drives you? Identify the intention. I'm happy to receive any as comments if anybody would like to share. Apart from being delivering as his daughter, I'm also very aware that my children are watching me. I'm very aware that they're taking notes as I speak, as I am, as I be. Mental notes. I lost, Johnny, absolutely, hats off. I lost 13 kgs to bring down my blood sugar from 340 to 93 without medication. Hats off to you, Johnny. So yes, super. And that's driven towards health. Not just your children, but also anyone around you. Thank you so much. So yes, this is so important to identify the intention. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, then L. I'm just going to move on to L. Thank you, Johnny, for sharing that. So L stands for, I've presented this, this topic across different countries. I've presented in close to 6 countries already, and to different kinds of audiences. So parents, teachers, corporate spaces, different kind of communities. I'm going to give you a chance to guess what L could be, because every time I present this section, people roll their eyes and they say, no, it can't be done. So I'm going to ask you to tell me what L could possibly be. So tell me, what could learning, love, nope, love yourself, let it go, Disha, thank you. So yes, we've got it. Thank you, Disha. So we've got L stands for let things go. We all like to be in control, right? We want certainty. We want to be in that space where we know what's going on. Uncertainty kind of makes us a little scared. So letting things go from that perspective is tough. Also, when I say let things go, I also am talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness, tough one, isn't it? People roll their eyes and say, no, 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 I can't forgive because it's not my fault. It's always the other person's fault, right? I can't let things go. It's not, I can't, I just can't. But you know what? When you don't forgive, it's kind of like you're hugging a cactus. Imagine that. When you don't forgive, you're hugging a cactus. Would that be a nice place to be in? I'd say, ouch. So let things go. Letting things go. What are certain things that you can let go of? You can let go of anger. You can let go of guilt. You can let go of past failures. You can let go of labels that you might have taken on upon yourself because of what people might have said to you about yourself or about your capacities or about your community. Let these go. When one lets go, turmoil within goes. Absolutely, Ashok. Thank you. Fear, yes, Disha. Let go and be careful for the future. Yeah, let go and be careful for the future. And as you bring that up, something that comes up to my mind is that my husband and I like to travel a lot. So we were in Amman, and what's that thing about the Dead Sea that we all know? The Dead Sea. Tell me, has what do you know about the Dead Sea? Float. Thank you, Ashok. So I do not know how to swim. So when we were off to Amman and we were going to stay for Makes You Float, yes, beauty products, yes, that too. So when we were going to stay by the Dead Sea for a few days, and I thought, okay, great. Now here's my opportunity to really get into the sea and float as like a pro, because I don't know how to swim, but I can float in the Dead Sea at least. So got to the beach, got down into the water, got ready to go in, and then there were those little rocks by the side, so held on to that and started walking into the water. But then my mind clicked in. And remember what I told you about your subconscious mind, right? Anything that is uncomfortable, it gives you reasons for why you shouldn't be doing it. I went into a place of panic because I didn't know how to swim. I know it's the Dead Sea. I know it's going to make me float, but my subconscious wouldn't let me do that. My subconscious was like, oh my God, what if you sink? What if you drown? You've not done this before. What's wrong with you? All those questions in my mind, and my mind rambling all over to give me reasons why I should hold on tighter to the rocks. And I held on tighter to the rocks. It was fearful, yes. All my fears, yes. And those rocks that I'm talking to you about were actually crystalline salt. Because the Dead Sea is so salty that all the pebbles on the shore, on the sides, have literally got deposits of salt on it, like sharp deposits of salt. So imagine wanting to float, yet latching on so tightly and being scared. What happened? I hurt myself. I started getting scarred, getting scratches from those crystalline salts. And I had two options, either to let go and float, or to just let go and get out of the water. So when you're in that situation where you have to move forward, take a conscious decision to let go of anything that's holding you back as baggage. That's what overthinking does. Yes, it does. So I want to do this. I really want to do this, but I'm afraid, will it be a success? I really want to do this, but I don't know what people will say. I really want to do this, but I don't know, am I capable enough? I really want to do this, but I don't know. I don't want to offend people. Be mindful, but take that decision. So yes, think about the choices that you have to make. Think about what you need to let go of. Either you let go of your inhibitions or you let go of where you need to go. The choice is yours. Because if you're going to continue to stay in that situation where you're holding on with fear, you're just going to be hurting yourself. Can you spell a smile without E? can you spell a smile without E? Yes, no, in comments. Can we spell a smile without E? Is it possible? Yes? No, thank you. Nope, thank you. Yes. It won't be pronounced as a smile, it'll be sml without the E. It can't be. So similarly, though it's the last alphabet, it is also valuable because E stands for energize the possibilities. As you can see, I take my title as a possibilities coach seriously. So the E in energize the possibilities, E stands for energize the possibilities. I've been given 45 minutes to present to you today, but I can go on with this for days together. We can go into this, we can do exercises, we can do whatever we want and keep talking about it. So how many times have you attended webinars, sessions, listened to podcasts, attended courses, done coaching calls, done anything to kind of upgrade, upskill yourself? You've taken down notes, but have you done self-development or have you done shelf development? Because after a while, those notes are tucked away very, 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 very safely somewhere in the corner. Self always. I'm going to ask you about that later. So yes, so is it self-development or shelf development that you do? Because unless you put action into the learning, until you put energy into the possibilities, it's not going to work for you. So what are some things, and I really want you to write it down in comments for me, please. What are some things that you're going to take from today's session that we've had just now that you thought were valuable to you, and you're going to put it into action, you're going to apply it into action so that you can smile to move forward? Please write in comments, what is something that you think you can do, you can apply already in your world, in your space, in your workspace. If you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. So George, definitely someone who definitely smiled from the heart. Yes, that's something you can do. What else would you like to do? Take others seriously with a smile. Let go fear of judgment. Thank you, Disha. What else? And you know, as you are typing it out, you're actually making a public declaration. And there is power in putting it out there into the world and saying, yes, this is what I'm going to do. So you're not just typing it in comments for me to read or, just like that, you're engaging, but you're also making that commitment to yourself. And somewhere your mind, that 4-year-old subconscious mind of yours is going to go, oh, so she said this during that webinar, which means this is how I have to behave. I like self-motivation. I will try my best to work hard and not care about anyone making fun of me. Thank you and more power to you, Wonder Woman. So when you smile, you have others smile with you. A child less than 6 months, no fear. Best time to learn swimming brings a smile to you. I did that with my child. Beautiful, Ashok. Yes, a child knows no fear. Accept the questions at times my daughter asks with authority. Wow, powerful. Ganapati, thank you. So yes, I love this. Thank you so much. Thank you. To be the better version of oneself, daily improving. So, so cool. So energize the possibilities. Put energy into it. All right, I would have liked the cameras to be on, but it's okay. Let's just, session motivated me. That's what I needed. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask you to do a quick exercise. So on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I want you to clasp your hands. So clasp your hands this way, okay? And your thumbs have to rest together, one on top of the other. So let's do this quickly. We have someone's, so Krishna, I think you are unmuted. So, all right, thank you. So 1, 2, 3, mute. 1, 2, 3, clasp. All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, clasp. Okay, so I want you to do this. 1, 1, 2, 3, clasp. All right, let's do this one more time. Please join in. This is really going to be an aha moment for you. I really want you to join in and do this. So 1, 2, 3, clasp. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3, clasp. Now observe which thumb is on top of the other. Is it your right thumb or is it your left thumb? All right, last time. 1, 2, 3, clasp. For me, it's the left thumb. Now I want you to tell me, give me a thumbs up if it was the left thumb for you. Give me a thumbs up if it was a left thumb for you. Left, okay. Left, great. Left, awesome, awesome, awesome. Kriti, Kriti Mehrok, Ganapati, thank you. George, left thumb, great. So, all right, brilliant. Right, Anuradha says right. Okay, so it's either the left or the right. And sometimes to add an element of humor, I say, so if it's the left thumb, you're going to have lots of money. And if it's the right thumb, you're going to have great relationships. And it's beautiful how people quickly change their thumbs. So Johnny says right. All right, great. So we have an awareness of which thumb it was. Now we're going to do this exercise one more time. However, this time we are going to consciously swap the thumbs. So if it was the left for you, like it was for George, George is going to consciously clasp and make sure that his right thumb comes on top of the left. And Anuradha had it on the right, so she's going to clasp her hands and make sure it's the left thumb that falls on top of the right. Good to go? Let's do this. All right. So 1, 2, 3, clasp. Uneasy? Uneasy? Let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3, clasp. I had to consciously put my right thumb on top of the left. So one last time. 1, 2, 3, clumsy. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3. Yes, took me a few seconds to adjust. Yes, super. What are you learning? What are you learning? Vijay says clumsy, doesn't feel right. Yes, took you a few seconds to adjust. Comfort zone, change, left is right. Takes conscious effort to do. We are programmed in a particular way. Change needs conscious habits, yes. The left doesn't feel right. Right brain is stronger if left thumbs and vice versa. Wasn't easy. That's me stepping out of my comfort zone. Absolutely. Just be, don't change. Just be, don't change, yes. However, the message I'm driving home is that anything that you take upon yourself as a new way of being, as a new way of, I can do this, I can just go on because I do this exercise with others, so I can go on like this. But I was able to do this. I can do this because I'm still fumbling sometimes, because I've done it multiple times. So anything that you have decided for yourself, let go of judgment, let go of, allowing your daughter to ask you those questions, anything that you choose as for your point for energize the possibilities is initially going to feel a little clumsy because we have set in a particular pattern. Break through that comfort zone, keep at it. And after a while, it begins to create those neurological connections and your mind begins to accept the new you. Thank you, Disha. Practice change. So how did I build that change, that practice, that shift to come to a place of acceptance about my loss, about the hardest time in my life. I began to deliver. I began to deliver value to anybody who is willing to receive it. So it's just not just the videos that I do on my Facebook page or YouTube channel, but also these kind of webinars, which brings in community, and I can share my smile with them. So thank you, coaches, for giving me this opportunity. One soon to be celebrated moment in my life is that I am speaking next month at the Gross Global Happiness Summit, which is run by the United Nations University for Peace. Gives me goosebumps as I say this, because who thought? United Nations, man. I had to build that muscle. I had to come to that place of acceptance. I had to understand my why. I had to silence the chatter. I had to manage my attention. I had to let things go. And this is how things have shifted for me. So smile to move forward. And thank you for joining in today.
Thank you, Ruqya, for taking us to that entire Smile-tastic lineup and unpacking it for us.
I have a question, Ruqya.
Yes, please.
I know you are an internationally acclaimed speaker on this subject and many other subjects. How do you find out the impact of these sessions on people that you've addressed so far?
Okay, great question, Johnny. Thanks for asking. So I don't really measure the impact, but what I do is when I receive messages from people at the end of the session or as a follow through, or people follow my work and then, this conversation. So somehow that to me feels like more insightful in terms of having made an impact. And there are times when people book a call with me and then they say, we just wanted to update you on our, how we've made progress. So that for me is the reward and the impact, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. What's the purpose of asking where you're breathing from? What is the difference, if any? All right, Anuradha. So you're technically supposed to be breathing from your belly. And being mindful of time, I kept it short, but I would invite you first to breathe from your belly so that your lungs are filled up. And the reason your belly pushes forward is because your lungs fill up and then your diaphragm expands, and that's where your belly expands. However, when we're nervous or when we're thinking too much, we tend to breathe from our chest up, we shallow breaths. So if I ask you to think of a situation where you're panicking or where you're troubled, thinking too much, quite automatically you begin to start breathing from your chest up. Yes, chest breathing is shallow. However, when you belly breathe, you're giving your body that full lung full of oxygen, full lung full of air, and then you're breathing in. And so you're holding, you have the capacity to hold, and then you release and hold again, and then take it in. So you're literally building your lung capacity and also your focus on yourself. I hope that answers your question.
Can I add to that, Ruqya?
Yes, please.
So thanks to COVID, I ended up buying an oximeter for myself in the initial months of the lockdown. And I observed that when I start checking my oxygen level in my blood, it'll start showing around 95, 96. And then I consciously start breathing deeply from my belly. And I can see that number rising from 96 to 97, 98, sometimes even up to 99. And that just adds to what you just said, that when I breathe from my belly very deeply, I think it pumps a lot more oxygen into the blood as well. And that's empirical data for you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And in fact, Johnny, to add to that, when you're meditating, you get these Fitbits and, trackers, etc., sleep trackers. So I was in a meditation call. We were doing a meditation together, and there was someone who actually said that his Fitbit showed that he was asleep. Like literally, when you're meditating, when you're deep breathing and you're meditating, your body, the pulse, and all your biometrics showcased on his sleep tracker that he was asleep, whereas he was just meditating. So it's beautiful how the body works. Okay, Krishna has a question for me. What to do if your near dear ones are cause of unhappiness? Can let it go means to ignore? I love that question, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of us struggle with this. It's a common question where uh, you know, what if your near and dear ones are the reason of your unhappiness? You can't really ignore them and move on, but you have to understand and make them understand that this is important for you. And you can do that only by respecting your own journey. So respect, love, hope, and trust. Four pillars of your life, four elements of your life. We always expect the other person to give it to us, but the formula is the other way around. You have to give yourself love, trust, respect, and hope first to yourself, and from the outpour and from the extra, you learn and you teach the others how to respect and love you. It's never the other way around. Yes, I have. Who else? Okay, Nilofer asks, how did you overcome your fears regarding the Dead Sea? As I said, I had to decide, am I there to float and experience that floating, the experience of floating? Am I going to enjoy it? Am I going to have it for myself? Or am I just going to hold on and hurt myself over again? So either letting go of that intention to float or to step out and just give up on myself or give up on that experience. So I chose to go for it. And of course, a little bit of coaxing from my husband, who stood by me and has always stood by me in all that I do. So, yes. George says, don't buy a Fitbit. No, buy a Fitbit because it works. Instead of being sad, we make the close one solve the puzzle along with you. Absolutely. And you know what? You're not a tree. You're not a tree. You can move on. But move on and be strong. Trust your roots, trust your values, and begin to love yourself enough first so that the rest of the world knows how you want to be loved. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you, Ruqya. Any more questions? And thank you once again, Ruqya, for that inspiring session. And I really want to thank the participants. It was a very participative session. So I'd like you to give yourselves a thumbs up, everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Thank you, everyone.